Hello everyone, today in this video we will fight against the enormous character of our world around us, and this time I would like to present to you a working hypothesis from my observations as amateur historian that I am as well. Not only but as well, I am amateur historian, passionate about history, and I have noticed such a correlation that Europe, when it's being united, especially by force like recently, it's actually getting European populations lazy, not so creative anymore, and at the end of the day, they start even dying out rapidly. It takes place currently in majority of European countries, and it's a really extensive process. But when we go to the past, we see that European countries, after medieval period especially, but also during medieval period, there was also an expansion. Of course, in Iberian Peninsula to the nowadays Palestine, and so on, and also Norman expansion, even towards Northern America, Greenland, Iceland. So we see that when European nations reach their uh, level of higher maturity, they were fighting with each other. Soldiers were uh, training, were having really good trainings in fightings on the European battlegrounds. Later, they were going to the new possessions, new colonies, and conquering the land, spreading the civilization, and spreading the values. We have to be honest. For instance, Morocco before European French colonization was a nest of pirates where human trafficking, smuggling, everything was possible, was blooming. So the same with India. India at, at the end of Mongol dynasty were nothing more than loose federation nominally in best case of fighting kingdoms, and this country was in the constant state of war, be everybody against everybody because central Mongol power at the end was weak. So British colonization, when British government in 1857 after Sipai rebellion took over India, at least brought peace and some modernity to this country, and they gave them one common language, which is still in use till today. This is worth mentioning. And majority of railways India is still using were built during British rule in the British Raj India. We need to remember. And you know that I'm not fan of English people, even opposite. But as a historian, I need to be honest with facts. The same with other places that were colonized, Latin America, Aztec, Mexica, so-called Aztec Empire, Maya states, and also Inca. These all human sacrifice, these barbaric practices were stopped. Of course, there were some atrocities, there were some inequities, there were some exploitations, but at the end of the day, new quality came. But when European countries are being united by force, they start to go into decay. So the only remedy for current Europe, and I think it will happen soon, is to come back, each country doing its own business. Even sometimes we will observe rivalry on European continent between European countries as it was in the past. But it will be with mutual benefit for all of us at the end. Because when Europeans are united by force, the always stupid ideology comes into play, prosperity, and we are going into decay because we have no purpose of living. But we have our mission of spreading a really good chunk of civilization, some values and some ideas and technology we are really creative in. And this is how I see it. And yeah, some people can say, yeah, but you almost all Europe, uh, uh, at least huge chunk of it, was united under the Roman Empire. Yes, but Roman Empire was something else. It was a loose federation of many local political organisms, of course subjected to Rome and so on and so on, but culturally no one was interfering actually in their lives. With respect to Druids, whose religious function was tightly connected with politics, that's why they were persecuted. But other religions, paganic ones, especially plus Jewish, were not. And one needs to take into account that Rome, as long as Rome was expanding, so fulfilling European mission, fighting with barbarians, and keeping its own values and traditions, it was strong, invincible. And opposite tendency I see, opposite to the European tendency, among Muslims, especially Arabs. When they are united, like Umayyad Caliphate, Abbasid Caliphate, they bring to the world a lot of good things. Like they hand over development of science after Greeks and Romans. They spread a lot of culture and civilization also among wild nations, some of them in barbaric Africa, Central Asia, and also among themselves. They civilized themselves thanks to this new religion and values to a large extent. And when they were united, many good things to the world came. They, of course, allowed the transfer of so-called Arabic numerals, which are of Hindu origin, and many, many other things. Spreading Greek knowledge, developing it further, medicine, astronomy, mathematics, algebra from Arabic, many, many other things. But when they are divided like now, they cannot wake up from this bad dream that lasts since the second half, roughly since the second half of the 13th century AD, because they are divided into many artificially created states, and they cannot come into they cannot come to any understanding about their common goals, and they cannot work for their common goods. Too many particular interests. That's why they collapse. This is a raw hypothesis, but I see this very interesting observation that when Europeans are divided, they spread all around the world. They are the ideas, values, technology. When they are by force united, they are in decay. But with Arabs, seems to be completely opposite. I leave you with the discussion of this topic. I think I will come back to many aspects of it because this idea I think will develop in my head. All the best. Have a nice day. Bye.